Hello, everybody. My name is John Anderson. I'm a principal security architect here at Akamai Technologies and Professional Services. And today I'm going to actually show you how to do discovery for the Content Protector product. I'm going to use the newbalance.com website as an example. As you can see, I've got developer tools opened. I'm in Chrome, and I have no plugins really enabled other than one password here. So I'm just going to hit refresh, and you can see here that I'm starting to look at the document and the fetch XHR requests that I'm receiving from newbalance.com. Now, this is important because Content Protector is a web scraping product. It is designed to detect scraping truly of HTML and JSON content. And so by filtering down here, you basically are looking only at a site that cites HTML content on a specific domain and AJAX requests. And you can see that if you close this view, you can see the document requests and then the XHR requests over here. Fetch is another type of JavaScript initiated request. So it's very similar to XHR. So XHR and fetch requests, we, from a content protector perspective, we consider all of these to be AJAX style requests. So we're going to start with the HTML. We're going to go back over here and look at the headers here. You can see it does a redirect. I think it was probably just setting cookies. This is the one that gives me a 200 OK. And you can see right from the jump, this is text HTML, as we would expect for the main site, the main page on a customer's website. And if I scroll down here, you can see that, right off the bat, I've got product inventory, products being displayed and for purchase, as well as pricing. And if I go to the response, don't worry if you ever see this. All it means is that this request is out of date. Just refresh in Chrome, go back to that 200, and there you go. Now the response is showing. And if I do a Control F inside of this response window, and I look for that famous .99 pricing, right? You'll see, as I look through here, you'll find a bunch of stuff. None of these are actually prices. So what I'm going to do, just lots and lots of what looks like UI rendering coordinates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for 199.99. There we go. I've just confirmed that the price for this product, the shoe, is right here in the HTML, which tells me right off the bat, yes, I need to actually protect the root page / with Content Protector. So I'm going to go over to my discovery documents. In this case, I've already got one open, but if you need to find the template for all the professional services discovery docs that we use, all you need to do is type in a.acam.ai/CPR Discovery. CPR-discovery, and it'll take you right to the directory where we've got pretty much all of the customers that have onboarded onto Content Protector at this point. This recording was on June 7th, 2024. I created one from the template. It's got nothing in it right now. So right now I'm just going to say customer, New Balance. Now normally I'd go into the portal and pull out their account ID and that type of thing here. But New Balance came to us and they are describing origin performance impacting levels of scraping. That's what they told us their scraping concern was. Right, so they're basically hosted on newbalance.com, and they actually have a lot more like language and country code specific domains. So today we're just going to look at newbalance.com, and in fact all of their other domains, for example www.newbalance.ca for Canada or .com.au for Australia, they're all using the exact same content management system, which is fantastic for us in services, or if you're doing a pre-sales POC, right? Because that means that whatever URL paths I define for HTML and JSON and AJAX requests here on newbalance.com is going to apply pretty much to all of their websites. So we're going to look just at that. And it's hosted on, their origin is Salesforce Commerce Cloud. So for those who, in the biz, they call this SFCC. And there's a lot of, I would say, retail websites, direct to consumer, retail websites that use Salesforce Commerce Cloud as their back-end platform. And so, from our perspective, that's what we would call their content management system or their origin, right? And so, a lot of the URLs that you're seeing here, SFCC was a company called Demandware before it was acquired by Salesforce. So you can still see those Demandware links in here. So a lot of the URL patterns that I'm going to find here are probably applicable to lots of different SFCC websites. But as I go through here, you'll probably find that there's a pretty standard set of URLs that you're probably going to want to look at almost immediately when you're finding a B2C retailer website like New Balance. Right, so okay, back to our slash. I'm going to use my content, my discovery doc, to basically take notes. And so this document, you can see right up here, we say don't send it to the customer. The reason that is because the customer has no idea what their paths look like. I guarantee you. If you ask the customer, hey, can you tell me all the HTML and JSON on your website that might be scraped, they'll have no idea. Or they'll give you one or two examples, but they won't know all of the URLs that are returning scrapable content. And this is a problem. This is a big problem for Content Protector. Specifically, if you're doing a pre-sales POC, you're probably only going to pick one or two URLs to actually protect and then show the customer value. But then you never want to go into deny mode in a pre-sales POC. Because if you only pick, say, for example, I'm going to go ahead and just wipe out some of this stuff and use this to take notes. These are going to be my HTML paths. These are going to be my Ajax paths. All right, and I'm just going to use this to start to take notes. Right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say I know I want the root page / default landing page. Right. If you're doing a pre-sales POC, you may stop right there. And the problem is that there's lots of other paths on their website that display product information, pricing information. Maybe if you click on a specific shoe, they've got colors, variations. They've got different sizes. So there's all kinds of things and other paths that are going to return pricing information, right? Availability, whether it's in stock, whether you can add it to your cart. See, this one is actually, what does it say? Add to cart. Oh, I need to select a size. All right, so size 10.5, 10.5, D width is in size. I can add it to cart here, right? Lots and lots of other web pages on their website might return the same exact information, and the customer's never going to be able to tell you all of them, right? So what we do is we basically start taking notes here to list out as many different URLs as we can that return really scrapable content. And in this case, for New Balance, scrapable content, scrapable, is defined really as anything that contains product listings, or in that case, it could be like all men's shoes, right? Or something like that. Product detail pages. So that would be a specific shoe. Or anything that contains pricing, color variations, size variations, right? Or whether it's available, it's in stock, which basically means, if I could spell that right, available in stock, which means can you add it to cart, right? So that's what scrapers are going to be looking for on the New Balance website. This may be different for a customer that is a news or a media website. This may be completely different for a customer that is a travel or hospitality type of customer, like a hotel or an airline, right? Their big thing is going to be their search interface, right? Their flight search or hotel room search. Actually, while we're back here on New Balance, we should probably check out the search pages, right? Search results. Those are going to probably contain all of the above information, right? So this is what I'm looking at, and I've already found my very first page, the main page. Shocker, right? Not a surprise. Now I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to come back in. I'm going to go back to that main page, and I'm going to see that Telium render Telium. I'm seeing that in every single request on the main site. Like if I go into RC Shorts, I immediately see Telium render Telium. What is that thing, right? When I look at it, first thing I do in the headers, I see that it's application JSON. So this is an AJAX URL. The other confirmation I have for that is it's not a document request. It's an XHR request. Okay. So what is in that JSON response that's being returned? Believe it or not, that's actually my IP address. So this is information about me and where I'm browsing from. So it's being echoed back to me. It's saying, hey, it needs to probably display everything in US dollars because I'm on, probably I'm on the North American US website. And then you can actually see I've got something in my cart. I've got something in my cart. Hey, how is that? Oh, check it out. I have something up here. And if I mouse over it and it decides to load, oh, okay. It's giving me a 403. New Balance still has our good friend's Shape deployed at origin. And Shape has this ability to determine whether or not you're viewing the website with headers open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill that, refresh the page. Now I have headers closed, right? And now if I look at it, now it renders, right? All they're doing there is they're detecting that the developer tools headers are open and they're I've got this disable cache enabled. That's how they do that. So you can actually see, when I refresh this page one more time, Telium render Telium has the details of what I have in my cart in the JSON. Ooh. So I need to protect that, right? Copy URL. And now you might be thinking to yourself, please, John, tell me I'm not going to have to go through the entire site and list out every single URL of the entire site. You're not. What we're doing here is we're starting to list things out to look for patterns, URL patterns. We're not going to have to paste a gigantic list of URLs into the Content Protector user interface to build a list of rules. This is actually going to be pretty straightforward, and I'll show you how, right, as we do this. So root page, there's some AJAX. Got it. Now, what about that page I was down here on? Ooh, okay. RC Shorts. Looks like it's a product category. Okay. Then if we go into like men, running shoes, shoes, running. Women, running shoes. Women, shoes, running. Cool. It looks like the product category or listing pages look like this. Right? And they can have anything that looks like /men, shoes, running. We saw that other one that was RC Shorts. All of those have one thing in common. They are paths ending in slash, not slack, slash. Right? They're paths ending in slash. I can grab all of those, including the root page. This one back here. Let me put a page break in. So all I'm doing here is taking notes to myself, and I'm saying, hey, the root page / product category pages. I'm going to make that one bold. That's probably the first rule I'm going to define. I need to have all of the paths ending in / protected by Content Protector, and they return HTML. Right? Go back to kids, big kids shoes. And then we come down here and we click on big kids, right? And what do we see? Text HTML, right? Of course, it's on a / page. And then if you look at the response and you see, let's look in here for $74.99. There it is, $74.99, right? So this, and there's probably a lot of them actually in here because that was a UI element. This is the other one over here, right? So there's pricing in all these pages ending in /. That's all I care about. I need to protect them with Content Protector. And then we've already got that telium render telium, right? So we've got pages ending in slash, telium render telium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my filter. Right now my filter only says show me anything that start at newbalance.com. I'm going to put a space in my filter. I'm going to use the minus sign, and I'm going to type in telium hyphen render, and it already disappeared, right? So let me copy that to my clipboard, make sure I got it right. So it was telium render telium, right? And with that minus sign, again, I did a space and a minus sign. I'm filtering out anything that matches telium hyphen render, and it's actually hyphen render telium, right? Now if I screwed that up, it would show back. It would show, there it is, right? I'm trying to filter that out. Telium render telium. Okay. So now if I clear everything, and I just refresh my Big Kid Shoes page here, I'm seeing my HTML, and I'm seeing this guy, update customer badges. If I'm looking in here, badges. This doesn't look like product information, doesn't look like product details, no pricing. In fact, I'm guessing it has to do with badges that are being displayed up here in the menu. And I don't think that is scrapable content. So update customer badges. It's definitely JSON content. It's coming from this ON Demandware Stores, update customer badge. I don't think we care about this one. So actually, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to filter it out. I'm not going to actually build a rule for that. And I'm going to say, what was that one? It was telium hyphen update customer badge. And if you screw it up, just type sub. There you go. All right, there it is. Update customer badges. Okay, so now that's filtered out. Cool. Let me go ahead, clear, and refresh my page one more time. And remember, their goofy origin still has shape deployed. So we were getting 403s occasionally on this cart mini show. I got a 200 here, so I'm gonna actually click on it. Cart mini show is text HTML. And then if you look at the response, check this out. It is not properly formatted HTML. Let's look for a head tag. There's no head tag. Let's look for a body tag. There's no body tag. There's no close body tag. This is very important because when the Edge server, when Ghost is processing an HTML page and it's trying to inject JavaScript, it does that at the body tag, at the close body tag. And since there isn't one in this URL, let's go back. We already looked at it. We know it's text HTML. It's text HTML. But it's being requested as an XHR fetch, right? And when we look at it, do we need to protect it? Let's go back in. I'm seeing, what am I seeing? Content that I believe it should show me what is in my cart. And particularly, I think if I search for that 139, there it is. That item that's in my cart that costs $139.99. So this mini, it's right here. Right now I'm getting the 403 because stupid shape. Right, but if I close this, right, and I close this again, and I refresh, and view the mini cart, this is the mini cart HTML. I need to protect this, right? It's got scrapable information in it, but it's not properly formatted HTML. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the URL. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say, I need to protect this, but it's going to go in the AJAX category, which is totally fine. This is text HTML, remember? But when you put something into the AJAX category in Content Protector, it basically means don't try to inject JavaScript into this because it won't work, right? And that's the whole reason we need to split out the content on a customer's website that we're going to protect with Content Protector into two categories, HTML and Ajax, because Ghost is going to try to inject the JavaScript into all of these pages that we've turned on rules for, and we're going to not inject JavaScript into these pages. It's that simple. That's why we have to split these up, because the backend actually cares. The backend, the detection backend for Content Protector cares that Ghost was supposed to have injected HTML into these pages. Ghost is not injecting HTML into these pages. So it cues the backend into whether or not there should be telemetry and JavaScript being injected into these pages that is then being executed by the browser and then generating telemetry. That's really all you need to know. But we have to split them up. And because that one URL, it really was text HTML, but it wasn't properly formatted, I have to actually leave it there, right? That's going into my Ajax rules. So now I've got two rules so far. I'm going to have kind of a list of Ajax paths, right? That's rule number 2 that I'm going to build. And rule number 1, paths ending in slash. Cool. Let's go back. Let's take a look. What happens when we click on an individual page? Ooh, interesting. So now I've clicked on a specific shoe, and now look at my URL, right? We're up here. I've got a .html. Now I'm guessing that when I click on a .html request, wait a minute. It's this one. .html. I'm guessing it's going to come back text HTML. Yeah, wild guess. Right? So, okay, great. But what this tells me is that we've got HTML pages that we need to protect. And I'm going to guess, see that page /PD? I'm going to go on a wild guess. I'm going to click on baseball shoes. I'm going to go drill down onto a pair of baseball cleats. And I see /PD. And then I see a page that ends in HTML. Right? What does this tell me? PD probably stands for product details. And in fact, I actually know that because that's what Salesforce Commerce Cloud does. Product details. Right? So that's back up here. Paths ending in slash. Cool. Product detail pages are .html files under the /PD path, right? Let me get rid of bold. There's one. And they all look like that, right? So if I go to women's softball shoes, click on, I didn't know they made, I would have just considered them, baseball. Anyway, we're not going to talk about college sports. Let's go here. Let's go. It's the same thing. Totally different product. Totally different part of the website. All .html. Great. So I've potentially got 1 rule, 2 rules, and then 3 rules. Paths ending in slash, all HTML pages, list of, and then specific Ajax paths. I probably have many more of those to find. Let's take a look. So we see this one that says Telium get wishlist product. That's interesting. Let's clear. Let's just refresh this page. See if I can get Telium get wishlist product to show me. All right, cart mini show, definitely rendered. And then when I come over here and I click on 5, okay, I got a few. I got product variation, application JSON, response, pricing, right there, product variation. Gotta protect this guy. All right, so product variation. Come back here, and if you notice, I'm getting rid of the query strings on all these because we by default just protect the whole URL. You don't need to restrict it to query string. You don't need to restrict it to get or post. If we need to, it'll be because it's a false positive. We find a false positive later when we're doing analysis. By default, just protect the whole URL, right? So then we come back over here, get wishlist product. I'm just going to copy that and put it in another tab. See, method not allowed. Let's see. What did that? It did a post. Okay. So I'm going to click on another one. Yep. So I think if I click disable cache, there it goes. No, it didn't. It still didn't. I hate you, shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this URL and I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go into new incognito, open it up, same page, fresh set of cookies, and then I'm going to click on a page. Yeah, its shape's still blocking me. So what ends up happening, what we had to do is we had to work around shape, as we actually went to the staging network to actually test out this particular site. But what we found is when we actually worked with the customer, we were like, why are we getting all these 403s? And it's like, oh, shape blocks developer tools. And we were like, fantastic, we need to use developer tools to view all this. What we found is that product variation, get wish list product, all of these URLs returned scrapable JSON or HTML. And then, so we went through all the pages, we found all the JSON that all these pages were coming down in. So we still had 3 rules: paths ending in /, product detail HTML pages, and then a list of AJAX paths. And then we did search results. And let's just do running shoes, right? And we found a few different things. Running shoes, when you type that in, it took you to a specific path, right? Literally the post here for the running shoes did a get, and it returned, here's the search. Sorry. The search was here. It was get with a query string, and then that basically took you straight to a 200 via a document redirect, right? That this is a 200, oh, actually no, it's a 302. Sorry guys. So the get with the query string that I used for the search, 302 redirected me straight to running shoes. But it turns out, if you just come in here and you type in pink or a color or something like that, that takes you to a different search where we get search / question mark. Okay, search / question mark. This contains, I'm going to guess, .99 pricing information. What's that one? 164.99. Yeah, there it is. So yep, just like every place else, there's search results. Now, search / that's cool. That gives us, we've already got that one covered with our paths ending in /. But then if you come down here and you see this search services, get search services, this is an XHR request. And then I think if you come down here and you start clicking on some of these, there's this search update grid URL. We had to protect that as well. And where was it? Because it just disappeared. There it is, update grid. That was another one. XHR, we had to actually do search update grid. That was another one. And so ultimately, we ended up with 5 rules, right? There was search HTML, and then search JSON. And now, when you go into control.akamai.com and you switch to our good friends New Balance, and you go into one of their security configurations, because they're live in production, you go into one of their policies. In this case, they've actually got 3 different policies, but let's just go into one for the North American websites. And you go into bot management, and you click on content protection. These are the rules they went live with. Check it out. All pages ending in /. You can do that with the rule builder. It's hard to see because it's not a read-write version of the file extension matches empty. File name matches empty. You know what both of those two add up to be? All HTML pages ending in /. And then they put their host names in here because they have multiple host names on this policy. So they basically restricted it. And they said for these host names, for all HTML ending in /, 1 rule, and you're done. Specific JSON paths. Take a look. Get wishlist product, Telium render Telium, product variation. We actually found quite a few that needed to be protected. These are all AJAX requests. Don't inject JavaScript into these. And we'll see one of them. That's our mini cart show, cart mini cart. AJAX requests. Protect all of these paths. Don't try to actually inject JavaScript into them. Then we go down to, there's our third rule, /star/pd/star. So everything underneath of the PD path that ends in .html. 3 rules, and we've got almost all the HTML and JSON on the site. And then we had to build 2 more specific to search, /star/search. Because search actually can appear in nested paths, we had to do that. Actually, now that I look at this one, even now, I'm thinking this one probably is still covered by this one, so we might not have needed this. This may have been duplicative. I can't remember why we needed to actually put that one in there. But then we did have some search specific XHR, right? So, and it was, oh, that's why we needed to do it. Oh, I forgot. So some search requests, these always return HTML. Any URL that has /search in it, /search/ has HTML in it. And then I forgot, if it has a query string on it that says AJAX request, this is how it ends up in JSON. Same URL, data is called by an XHR request, and it's not actual properly formatted HTML. So it was the exact same URL with and without query strings determines whether it's HTML or XHR. And so we put both rules in there. So that's how we ended up with 5 rules. 5 rules. And we protected every piece of HTML and all of the scrapable JSON URLs on New Balance's website. And that's how you do discovery. You basically just have to go through the entire site until you run out of places to look for URLs. And as you write them down in your discovery document, you just keep filtering them out. So say we had done -update grid, right? And then we had done -cart mini show. Cart hyphen mini, right? So then we're down to search services, right? And then we've got, so we're just basically filtering things out as we surf the site. And we go, yep, got a rule for that already. These guys, I think, are XHR requests and fetch requests. Those are covered into the XML rules. We just kept searching and searching and searching until we went through the whole site. It takes about an hour or 2. It's not horrible. But basically, you then take notes, write everything down, and then identify the patterns that you need. And in reality, defining the rules is pretty easy. Knowing which rules that you need to protect which paths on which host names and whether those host names are HTML and AJAX, that's the hard part, right? That's all you need to do. All right, everybody. Hopefully this gives you an idea how to do discovery for Content Protector. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your training. Talk soon.